Is the King actually the villain in Los Angeles? It's been a wild year for the Purple and Gold, hiring his podcast partner as coach, drafting his son, and then claiming young Bronny earned that spot on merit, a claim that had scouts everywhere rolling their eyes in disbelief. It's just not reality. Then they forced the rookie into the opening night lineup and handed him a guaranteed 4-year deal completely unheard of for a 55th pick. It screams special treatment, and it's a slap in the face to the grind. Radio host Doug Gottlieb didn't mince words, calling the whole situation a massive contradiction. Gottlieb went straight for the jugular, accusing LeBron James of being completely out of touch. He labeled the superstar selfish and ungrateful, arguing the franchise has bent over backwards to keep him happy. Whether you agree or not, this beef exposes a harsh reality about the modern NBA. It's a clash of power, loyalty, and what happens when an icon's grip on an organization begins to slip. Before we dig deeper, do me a favor. Smash that like button and subscribe if you want the real talk on the NBA. Now, remember Rich Paul? The guy started out selling jerseys from his trunk, a true hustle story. But has the empire lost its way? I want to hear from you. Is Gottlieb right to call LeBron selfish? Or is this just another media hit job? Drop your take in the comments below. Is he chasing rings or headlines? Let's break down the statement. Rich Paul dropped a quote to ESPN that's got everyone buzzing. He claims LeBron is still obsessed with winning championships. Paul said, he knows the Lakers are building for the future. He gets it, but he needs a realistic shot at the title. He added that they appreciate the 8-year partnership with Jeanie and Rob Pelinka, acknowledging the Lakers is a critical part of his journey. But reading between the lines, it feels like a warning shot. They say they want to evaluate the best path for this stage of his career. He wants to make every season count, and supposedly, the Lakers support whatever he decides. For years, we've praised LeBron's basketball IQ, his leadership, and his ability to elevate a squad. But Gottlieb is flipping that narrative upside down. He argues that this greatness comes with a heavy price tag. He sees a pattern where LeBron forces teams to gut their future to serve his immediate needs, dictating roster moves and coaching hires, leaving the franchise scrambling when the dust settles. With the LA spotlight burning hot, critics are asking, did the Lakers give LeBron everything he asked for only to get burned? If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's talk money. You can't preach about winning and then choke the salary cap. That's just real talk. If a ring is the priority, why lock in a deal paying you $53 million? Here's how it works. If you want to win, you take a pay cut so the team can sign key free agents. You sacrifice cash for talent. But if you want to guarantee yourself a massive payday, you handle it differently. You backload the contract or take a player option, play out the year, and if it goes south, you opt out. You leave. There are a million ways to keep your options open, but taking the max handcuffs the team. The real controversy here is about control. The Lakers hired JJ Redick, LeBron's podcast co-host, drafted his son Bronny, and constantly reshaped the roster to fit his timeline. Gottlieb argues these aren't coincidences. They are signs of a franchise catering to one man over the team. And when the wins didn't pile up, the tone shifted from gratitude to frustration. You can say you appreciate the front office, but your actions tell a different story. Why release a public statement if you're truly on the same page? It doesn't make sense. If you really want a championship, you handle business internally. You don't air it out to the press. It lands poorly. It feels like LeBron and his camp are setting up an excuse for failure. He softens it with, I understand, but the subtext is clear. It looks like pouting. This is James and Paul trying to manufacture leverage where none exists. It's the same playbook as his second exit from Cleveland, leaking rumors about the Spurs. San Antonio wasn't interested, but they floated the story just to apply pressure. You can talk about appreciation all day, but do the actions back it up? At the heart of this saga stands LeBron James alongside his power broker agent, Rich Paul, and the juggernaut that is Klutch Sports Group. This alliance has arguably become the most dominant force in modern athlete relations. Together, they have redefined the game, dictating terms, engineering blockbuster trades, and exerting a level of influence that has completely altered the superstar franchise dynamic. However, analysts argue that this immense power comes with a double edge. You cannot publicly demand a championship caliber roster while simultaneously locking up a max contract that cripples the team's financial flexibility. This is where the debate really heats up. Pocketing over $50 million a year while demanding the front office sign more talent. creates a mathematical impossibility. In the NBA's hard-capped world, every single dollar counts. The critics' logic is straightforward. If winning is truly the main goal, financial sacrifice is usually the cost. You take a pay cut to open up the checkbook for other stars. Legends like Duncan and Brady did it. But when LeBron demands the full bag and the team fails to land elite help, it looks like a major contradiction. Before we dig deeper, if you are enjoying this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's look at the facts. Over the last year, let's call it the last 13 months to be precise, the decision-making in LA has been baffling. The Lakers handed the head coaching reins to a man whose primary qualification was co-hosting a podcast with LeBron. And listen, I get the skepticism. It is not just about a fresh face. It is about the head coaching job of the Los Angeles Lakers, and they gave it to his podcast partner. Then they draft Bronny James and try to spin the narrative that he earned that spot on merit, a claim that many scouts feel is far from the truth. It simply doesn't add up. They threw Bronny into the opening night lineup and gave him consistent NBA minutes, handing out a guaranteed 4-year deal to the 55th pick. It is unheard of. But the issues go back further. The most damaging move might have been the Anthony Davis trade. Critics argue they severely overpaid for him. Why? Because he was a Rich Paul client. Even after striking out initially, they circled back in the offseason and emptied the cupboard to get him. And don't forget the Russell Westbrook disaster. Why is he in purple and gold? The team was poised to land DeMar DeRozan. That move was practically done. DeRozan was ready to be the third star, but LeBron reportedly stepped in and said, no, we prefer Westbrook. The fallout from that decision is still being felt. The Anthony Davis deal already cost the Lakers a massive chunk of their young core. Yes, the trade worked in the immediate window, delivering a title, but it reshaped the franchise's long-term horizon. Then came the push for Westbrook, which added a whole new level of dysfunction. That experiment didn't just fail on the hardwood, it strangled their bin win, roster flexibility, and ignited years of mediocrity. Experts now claim these weren't just bad luck. They were the direct results of a LeBron-centric philosophy that has left the Lakers in a constant state of damage control. Pundits emphasize that other paths were open. Players of DeMar DeRozan's caliber were right there for the taking at various moments. A different roster construction could have provided the balance they desperately needed. But when the organization bowed to LeBron's wishes and the wins didn't follow, the blame game began. Who was really responsible? The executives for signing off, or the superstar whose influence tipped the scales? This is where the concept of leadership gets put under the microscope. LeBron is rightfully hailed for elevating his teammates during games. However, critics frame his off-court maneuvering differently. They describe a player who is selfless with the ball but transactional with the business, someone who constantly calculates leverage to keep his options open. It is not an attack on his character, but rather a critique of his priorities. When every move seems designed to maximize personal control, the narrative shifts from leadership to manipulation. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay ahead of these NBA storylines. Another tension point is the shifting power structure. The Lakers brass, led by Jeanie and Rob Pelinka, is finally signaling that they are looking past the LeBron era. Younger, talent, preserving cap space, and exercising patience are becoming the new directives. When a historic franchise starts planning for life after its icon, friction is guaranteed. For the first time in a long time, it seems the Lakers are no longer bending the knee to every demand. This pivot aligns with a broader change across the association. Teams are doubling down on youth, continuity, and sustainable building rather than chasing star-driven shortcuts. In this new landscape, the era of absolute superstar authority feels like it is coming to an end. For a Titan who built a legacy on mastering leverage, losing that grip changes the entire game. Some analysts connect this to a recurring pattern in his career. His exits from Miami and Cleveland forced those franchises to rebuild from scratch overnight. He has always held the power to leave, to pivot, to reinvent himself. But this chapter feels different. With age, massive contracts, the landscape of the league is shifting beneath our feet, making it tougher for anyone to single-handedly control the game. Gottlieb's hot take: the frustration we are witnessing right now isn't really about the Lakers struggling. It is about the cold reality that LeBron's iron grip on leverage is slipping away. And then you have the Bronny factor, easily one of the most explosive topics in sports media today. Drafting the son of an active superstar is something we have literally never seen in modern NBA history. It is a narrative dripping with pride, incredible opportunity, and crushing pressure. But the critics, they say it backed the Lakers into a corner, forcing them to juggle player development against the intense demand to win now. Whether the younger James proves he belongs in the long run is still up in the air, but the optics that LeBron pulled strings to make it happen just fuels the narrative that he runs the show. Then you look at the coaching carousel. The unceremonious exits of Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham are brutal reminders of how fast things go south when championship expectations hit the wall. In a league driven by superstars, the guy with the clipboard is always the first one thrown overboard. Gottlieb argues this pattern proves a bigger point. LeBron's influence dictates way more than just who starts at point guard. It reshapes the entire DNA of the organization. Now, if you are enjoying this deep dive, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Meanwhile, LeBron's defenders are clapping back. They argue he brought home a banner, put the franchise back on top of the global conversation, and has carried the weight of the world on his shoulders for 2 decades without a single off-court scandal. They remind us that every legend flexed their power. Magic did it, Kobe did it, even his airness, Jordan, did. The difference now is that LeBron's reign is dissected in 4K resolution, amplified by a 24-hour news cycle and relentless social media noise. Yet, the financial math remains the cornerstone of Gottlieb's critique. You cannot demand a super team roster while simultaneously eating up a massive chunk of the salary cap. The numbers just do not add up. Winning championships usually demand sacrifice from everyone, players, suits, and owners. And when that sacrifice feels one-sided, tension is inevitable. There is also the growing sense that the Lakers are quietly pivoting toward a new identity, one built around fresh legs and future flexibility. The focus on preserving cap space and hunting for the next big star signals a strategic reset in Los Angeles. In this new world, LeBron transforms from the undisputed king into a bridge to the future. A legend who defined an era but might not be the central pillar of what comes next. For Gottlieb, the real friction isn't about basketball X's and O's, it is about gratitude. He claims the Lakers rolled out the red carpet, giving James unprecedented support, roster say-so, and personal favors that almost no other athlete would ever get. So when leaks suggest he is still unhappy, it paints a picture of entitlement. Whether that is a fair assessment is up for debate, but it is definitely striking a nerve. The clock is ticking, adding heavy drama to the mix. As James navigates the final stretch of his legendary career, every move is under the microscope. Every quote is dissected. Every contract signing feels like a legacy statement. He is not just playing for wins anymore. He is curating his history. And legacy, more than stats or rings, is often defined by how giants are remembered in messy moments like this. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. There is also the Luka factor casting a shadow over the league. The rise of Luka Doncic and the new guard represents a seismic shift in power. As the young guns take over the highlights, the league naturally turns the page. For the old guard, that turn can feel violent. For critics, it marks the definitive end of an era. At the end of the day, this controversy is a perfect mirror of modern sports. Superstars wield nuclear levels of power. Franchises are held hostage by the need for relevance. Agents spin the stories. The media blows up every detail, and we, the fans, filter it all through our own loyalty and emotion. In this pressure cooker, a single decision about a paycheck can spark a war over character and leadership. Gottlieb's words might sting, but they hit on the question that will follow LeBron forever. Is he the ultimate teammate or the trap? Ultimate power broker? The truth creates a paradox. He might be both. He has built empires, resurrected dead franchises, and given us memories for a lifetime. But he has also operated with a calculated control never seen in sports history. As the season rolls on and the Lakers try to figure out their future, one thing is guaranteed: this conversation is far from finished. Every buzzer beater, every trade rumor, every press conference will add fuel to the fire. And whether LeBron answers with another title run, a calculated exit, or a slow fade into retirement, the debate over his motives versus his leadership will stalk him. Because ultimately, this isn't just about money or a single hot take. It is about what greatness looks like when you mix absolute power, loyalty, and legacy in a blender. And for LeBron James, the man who spent 20 years redefining the game, these final pages might be the most judged of them all. If you made it this far, you know the drill. This debate is just heating up. The story? The chaotic saga involving LeBron and the Lakers is far from settled, with behind-the-scenes power plays evolving constantly and every buzzer beater inscribing a fresh twist in this blockbuster story. If you crave unfiltered truths, heavy-hitting opinions, and deep-dive analysis that ignores the fluff of mainstream media, you need to lock in right now, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and tag a friend who is obsessed with this unfolding soap opera. And seriously, do not sit on the sidelines, get in the comments and tell me what you think. In this modern basketball age, the narrative is crowdsourced and every fan take matters. So make sure your voice is heard loud and clear.